Skin clean and nice and ting and ting. I'm Tiffany Cannon. I'm Tiffany Cannon, Reggae Girl Striker, and you are watching the Reggae Boys Commentary. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe.
I'm Javon Watson, and you're watching Reggae Boys Commentary.
Hey guys, thank you so much for taking your time out to watch this video in particular. But let me give you an update on a channel called Sports City. Yes, Sports City. It is a channel dedicated to everything related to Jamaican sports. Football, cricket, athletics, netball, rugby league, rugby union, tennis, lacrosse, swimming, you name it, we got it on Sports City. And what is the channel designed to do? It is designed to highlight Jamaican talents across all of those sporting disciplines. If you're a Jamaican and you're playing that sport, then we got you covered on Sports City. So it's quite simple, guys. Hit the subscribe button to Sports City right now. This video is brought to you by Andy Gone Nuts. 100% guaranteed fresh coconut water delivered straight to your door. Call 876-309-6128. That's 876-309-6128. Refreshing and affordable. For more information, follow them on Instagram at Andy Gone Nuts. Truly refreshing. And Crumble by Mrs. C. Old English fudge and other delectable sweet treats. Call or WhatsApp 876-586-0471. That's 876-586-0471. Good morning. Good morning. How is everybody doing? Hope everybody's doing well. It's a new day. It's a new day. That's right. How is everybody doing? Well, welcome to Reggae Boys Commentary. Yep, this is the channel where we come together to discuss everything in relation to Jamaican football, cricket, athletics, netball, everything. But specifically, Reggae Boys, Reggae Girls, beach football, futsal, all the youth teams. That's what we'll get through right here, folks. So that's where we are. You know, that's the situation. So, folks, as you're aware, the Reggae Girlz, well, they had 3 games. 3 games on the continent of Australia, the island continent, which is also a country as well. They took on Spain, the Czech Republic, and also they took on, Australia. 3 keen games. And the girls were not embarrassed in any of the games. You know, there were games that were challenging. There was a game in particular where the girls came out of the blocks a little bit slow. The second game, a bit more purpose. And the third game, it was very, very impressive and a pleasant sight to see what the Reggae Girlz did. To be able to come up against one of the best teams in the world and execute in the way that they did. Now, I know everybody's first reaction will be to look towards the result. That's completely natural. That's completely natural because your attention and your focus will be solely towards the result. But you can't look in that direction. You can't just look at the direction of the results. The results is one picture, but there are other angles that you have not looked at and analyzed as well. So let's get right into the facts, shall we? This was the Cup of Nations tournament in Australia in 2023. That's right, the second edition of the Cup of Nations. The last one was 2019, which had Australia, South Korea, New Zealand, and Argentina. This tournament, Australia, Spain, Czech Republic, and Jamaica. So, what were the results like in the tournament? Well, that's what we're going to touch right now. All right, good. These were the results in the competition itself. So Australia topped the group. 10 goals scored, 2 against. Spain, 8 goals scored, 3 against. Czech Republic, 3 goals scored, 9 against. Jamaica, 2 goals scored, 9 against. Australia defeated the Czech Republic 4-0, but Jamaica only got 3 from the Aussies. Spain defeated Jamaica 3-0. And then a match that Jamaica should have at least got a draw in was a game against Czech Republic. It was pleasant to see Jody Brown and Cameron Simmons get on the score sheet. A 19-year-old and a 20-year-old getting on a score sheet, a 17-year-old Saleh Washington demonstrating outstanding ability and forcing herself into the conversation of being part of that squad for the tournament itself. Very, very, very impressive. So from that angle, it really, really, really was good. So we're glad to see that. We got to see a few defensive options as well, especially in the first game against Spain. Victoria Williams was an absolute rock. Spain was peppering the Jamaica with shots and crosses. And you know what happened? Well, that's right. Victoria Williams, her size at 5'11", headed out those corner kicks. And in addition to all of that, you know what else happened as well? Victoria Williams served as a block in front of goalkeeper Sydney Schneider. So she was immense, absolutely immense in that scenario. She was firm, powerful, strong, and she did everything that was necessary. Extremely, extremely powerful to ensure that this was done properly. You know? So that's the situation. That's where we are. That's where we are at, folks. So interesting, isn't it? Well, you know, it gives another defensive option. Now you're looking at the defensive option. The Swaby sisters, that's 2. Vian Sampson is 3. 4, you put into the mix Victoria Williams. Can Konya Plummer find a club? If Konya Plummer can find a club, then that would be extremely important. Extremely, 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 extremely important. You know? So that's something for us to bear in mind, you know? So let's ponder that. Let's think about that. All right, folks? So that's the situation. That's where we're at. Let's see what you guys are saying in the comments first before I progress. Good morning, Simon. Hope all is well. How can we better without sacrifice? We must go through these phases to learn from what we can. We better overnight is a process. Anything meaningful in life takes time. And you've hit the nail on the head. I couldn't have said it any better, Marcus Mosiah Garvey. You've absolutely hit the nail on the head right there. This experience is a teething phase for the girls as they're coming up against some of the best teams on the planet. You know, this is a phase that should not be brushed aside because these girls are learning, they're growing, they're playing against some of the best teams on the planet. So this in itself is something that should be looked upon and embraced. So the results is where everybody's eyes are going to be turning in their direction. But guess what? This is preparation for what is to come. This is preparation for what is to come. And without this, how else will they learn to grow and develop? The good news is we have players that are rubbing shoulders with some great clubs. We have players at Manchester City. We have players at PSG. We have players at Tottenham Hotspur. We have players at Crystal Palace. We have players at FC Europe. We have players in the United States. We have players that are competing at a very high level. And you know what, folks? That in itself is something to be embraced. Lapses in concentration in the Czech Republic game, conceding just before halftime and conceding basically the last kick of the game as well against Czech Republic. So late on, those certain elements will certainly be elements to be worked upon as time progresses. And the game against Australia, up until the Aussies scored, it was all Jamaica. Possession, passing accuracy, attempts on target. It was all Jamaica up until that moment in time. Learning experience nonetheless. Very, very keen learning experience from this trip, because it shows how imperative it is to kill off those chances, to have that killer instinct, because Jamaica going up 1 or the game going into halftime 0-0 could have been a completely different perspective. So let's look at individually now the players as a whole, right? Now, if you look at the squad that the Jamaicans took to to Australia, there are a few changes. As you know, Shania Hills and Siobhan Wilson, they didn't travel due to injury. And the players that came in for them, Kayla McKenna and Tiffany Cameron, right? So if you look at the 24 that traveled, right, only one player of the 24 did not play, and that was Leah Brooks. She also traveled for the games against Paraguay, which we had in Jamaica in November. That's right. But everybody else, they got some minutes on the field. So what we can do, we can go through them individually, and then we will go look forward. I thought we were further along in our development, to be honest. I'm disappointed. Of course, in terms of the results, we are absolutely disappointed. The results, we're disappointed. Of course, we want to see Jamaica win. We want to see positive results. So, of course, quite naturally, the results would be disappointing. I do think that the Czech Republic game was a game that we genuinely could have won, but certainly the aspect of ensuring that finishing on those chances, that is something that has to be ironed out, worked upon moving forward, you know? Okay, so we got to see Sydney Schneider against the Czech Republic, which is basically the country, the league where she plays in. She plays in the Czech league right now. So 1 out of the 3 games she got to play in. Good shot stopper, and I think that being in Czech Republic, getting games in Czech Republic was important for her, because in the United States she was not getting playing time for her club. So for her going to the Czech Republic now, it's even better, because she's actually going to get games under her belt and get that much sharpness that she so desires, because she rarely played club-wise in 2022, you know? So this is extremely, extremely, extremely important, you know? So I'm really, really looking forward to seeing her getting some minutes in the Czech Republic, because it not only keeps Sydney working hard and assiduous and sharp, but it also keeps Rebecca Spencer on her toes as well. So Tara Murray, to be quite frank with you, the minutes that she got on the field, was disappointed, very, very disappointed in terms of how she played. I do think that the timing of the challenges, something to be worked upon. A couple of players beat her for pace. You know, a lot of fans had their concerns in relation to fitness. Is her fitness up to par? For me, I think that in terms of the defensive options that we currently have with the Swaby sisters, with Vian Sampson in the mix as well, with Victoria Williams, I think it's going to be a challenge, to be quite frank with you, to have Satara Murray in the team. She has strengths. She has strengths, because I know when she's on the ball and when players are trying to retrieve or regain possession from her, she's an absolute brick wall, just like Victoria, but more in a sense of a bulldozer type of model, where, you know, if a play hits into her, they immediately drop to the ground. So she is absolutely robust. So that is a strength that goes with her. But in terms of that defensive pool, you know, I still think making that 23 is going to be tough. There's time, but I think it really, really will be a challenge to press forward, you know? Yeah. That is true. And let's not forget, you know, Marcus Manzai-Garvey has hit the nail on the head as well. There was still a degree of experimentation in this cycle as well. And I expect in April as well to be the last, you know, final dress rehearsal of things where we say, okay, these are the 30 or 26 I'm going to call. And of the 26, then, you know, we're going to pick bam, bam, bam out of it, you know? So that's how I feel about the situation. You know? That's the situation. And let me just say, folks, condolences to the family and friends of John Motson, arguably the greatest ever commentator to ever live. John Motson was absolutely special. I remember playing FIFA 2001, listening to his commentary, and of course, listening to his commentary at 10 World Cups and 10 European Championships and 29 FA Cup finals. John Motson was a legend, an absolute legend, So condolences to the family. The coach didn't prioritize winning this window. Yeah. I think that's a fair assessment. Vian Sampson worked her socks off. Absolutely worked her socks off in this window. And very clever in movement as well, because at times it looked like Jamaica was playing a back three, and then a little bit when Jamaica is in possession, she's sitting right in front of the back four. So it's extremely clever how she was able to approach things. So for me, she's definitely on the plane again to the World Cup. Chantal Swaby, seeing her at right back for that first game in particular, I do think that centrally she offers a bit more to the Jamaican team, not only with her size, but also with her passing ability. She can also win back possession. I think we have better options at right back, so that is why I prefer Chantal Swaby, whether at centre half or in central midfield in particular. At right back, we'll get to those options as well. I spoke about Victoria Williams, who was Brighton and Hove Albion. I spoke about Victoria Williams. So for me, she's put herself in a very, very strong position to be on the plane. And, some guys might be like, well, look at her age, 32. We're not expecting Victoria Williams to play for Jamaica for the next 10 years. I expect her to be part of the squad for the World Cup, potentially the Pan American Games, the Olympic qualifiers later this year, the Olympics next year, and the CONCACAF Gold Cup next year. So that's basically the calendar that I would see for her. And that's about it. Right. Havana Salone. We have seen better days from Havana Salone at Houston Dash. We have seen better days from her. So is she definitely on the plane? I would take her. But in terms of the minutes that we saw and everything, I still think the April window is crucial, because there are certain players we haven't seen, like Chinela Asho, Marla Sweatman. Will they be involved in the mix in the next window? Let's see. Peyton McNamara. A wild card, a very, very important wild card. Brandon, good morning. How are you doing, Brandon? I hope you're doing well. So Konya Plummer we're trying to find a club for Konya Plummer, and as it stands, from what I'm aware, there could be an opportunity. So Scandinavia is an opportunity. Sorry, folks. But yeah, we're looking at Scandinavia for Kanya Plummer in particular. We're looking at Scandinavia for her to be able to get some playing time under her belt. So something that you can look out for. Marcus Mazaga says Peyton is specifically. Victoria Williams is too slow, so it's gonna for life. As a centre half, you can get away with not having pace, because you can either sit deep or you read the game well, like Victoria does, and time tackles well. So Victoria, for me, is somebody that can be involved within the mix. Simmons, Giselle, Peyton are three young talent must be in addition to Giselle or Soleil. Washington. Which one of the two? It's important for her to be fit and be in the squad, CB, CDM, even attacking. Okay, so let's continue on with the squad, folks. Peyton McNamara, she's in college, and I don't want us to do what we did at the last work where we had 7, 8 college players. That should, for me, if you're going to have college players in the squad, then it's going to be Jody, Rachel Jones, and Peyton. Soleil, high school. So, yeah. But that's it. All right, let's go further on. Kayla McCoy. The game against Australia in particular was better than the game against Spain that she played. Against Australia, she was able to sit back deep and win back possession and was able to press forward with it. And somebody raised this comment with me. Should Kayla McCoy be a defensive midfielder? Because we saw it against Bermuda in the World Cup qualifiers. And when she dropped deep against Australia, she did incredibly well. She dropped deep and then she was able to press forward again. So the Aussies were wondering, should we track her and go with her, or do we sit a little bit back? And it confused them for a moment in time. So Kayla is with a chance of making the play-in as well. Drew Spence, we know the game against the Spanish team, losing possession a few times, but naturally she grew and grew and grew and grew and grew. And Drew Spence is not only on the plane for me, but she's sitting in first class safely. So yeah, the young Washington Sully. Yeah, man. That's the younger sister of Giselle Washington. Yes, absolutely. So Jody Brown, 14 goals in 31 appearances for her country right now at Florida State. I look forward to seeing what's next for her. It wouldn't surprise me if she plays her club football in the United States instead of going over in Europe. I think that would be great for her sort of development and growth. I think that would be impressive for her. Yeah, that would be key for her. Brown. Cameron Simmons. Well, from the South Korea friendlies, she's put herself in a strong recognition. And Cameron scored a great goal against the Czech Republic team. And I know her father, Gregory Simmons, big up Gregory, hope you're doing well. He would be absolutely delighted for the progress that his daughter has made. And wishing her all the very, very best, moving forward. I know Greg was over in Guatemala with his son Nick, but now would be over the moon. His daughter scoring on her third cap for Jamaica. Absolutely brilliant. Chena Matthews, new hairstyle. And many people are saying, with all that hair, is she slower? Is she faster? Well, people are getting to see her with short hair now and see how she copes. Yeah, Chena is a workhorse, an absolute workhorse, and she will be imperative in winning back position. Across these 3 games, she demonstrated good ability. I do think there are certain occasions where she was a bit isolated, so she got herself in an offside position a couple of occasions, but by looking over some film, she'll be able to recognize those elements and be able to time those runs a little bit better. Vinny Congo, Simon, what's up with Asha? Is she not fit? Why no selection? Club-wise, Chinny has some improvements to do with her club form. We know about her ability, especially when she's in national colors. But yeah, club-wise, there's been some concerns, But she has to find a club. She needs a club as well, my friend. That's high on the priority list, So that's what needs to happen as soon as possible. As soon as possible. That is imperative. Next one is Rebecca Spencer. From 2021, she's come in and essentially become Jamaica's number 1. From the game against Nigeria, she stamped her class, stamped her authority, clean sheet under her belt, and Jamaica won the game by a 1-0 against Nigeria. And bearing all of that in mind, in the qualifiers, she did exceptionally well. Exceptionally well. So now the attention goes to, different element. That's right. A very, very important role itself. So that's the situation there, folks. So it's important from that angle. So yeah. Big up Simon. I like how Stallone is playing, and also Simmons. How the game went against Australia. Yeah, 3-0. Yeah, absolutely. Very, very much so. Denisha Blackwood. She's seen better days, but also room for improvement. Tiffany Cameron. Yeah, Tiffany operating in that right back position. Yeah. Against Australia, impressive. She even got the commendation of players and also the coaching staff as well for her performance as well. So we could see Tiffany Cameron operating as a right back moving forward for Jamaica as well. So the versatility, absolutely key. We saw Paige against Australia, against Spain rather, but certainly I do think that there is more to come from her. Alison Swaby, an absolute general at the back, key component. Trudy Carter looks good. And for me, can certainly make the play. Tierney Wiltshire, very, very impressive. One of the best players Jamaica has across those 3 games. Atlanta Primus, Atlanta Primus in attacking midfield. I feel that the decision making in the final third has some improvement, but definitely growth there. Kiki Van Zanten, yeah, we've seen better days. There are moments where she's a little bit slight, but I do think she also has a strong chance. But look at Soleil Washington, bam, making her debut against Czech Republic, stamping her class and authority. She put the ball in the back of the net, but it was offside. So, yeah, Soleil is in a strong chance as well. Leah Brooks, we didn't get to see her play, and Rachel Jones, for me, I think another good game from her, and she makes the plane for the World Cup. So, folks, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Is there 1 or 2 or 3 players that makes your list for the World Cup? Well, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Let's hear what you guys have to say. Some breaking news coming up for you guys at 11 o'clock, so you guys can stay tuned for it, okay? All right, guys, thanks for everything. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to Reggae Boys Commentary for more content. All right, guys, some breaking news coming up at 11 o'clock. All right, cool breeze.
Skin clean and nice and ting and ting. I'm Tiffany Cameron, Reggae Girlz striker, and you are watching the Reggae Boys Commentary. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe.